Hello my dear future web developers. In our last video, we have learned about what is CSS and different ways to implement CSS. Today, we will learn about selectors and how to use selectors to apply CSS properties on HTML elements. Let's begin with what are selectors in CSS. Selectors in CSS help us target specific HTML elements that we want to style. Whether you want to change the color of all paragraphs or give a unique style to just one button, selectors make it possible. Whereas, a property is a specific aspect of the selected HTML element that you want to style. For each property, you need to give a value to set. Some common CSS properties include color, background color, font size, margin, padding, border, width and amp, height. There are 5 simple ways to apply CSS to HTML elements. These can be done by element selector, class selector, ID selector, universal selector and by grouping selectors. Let's explore them one by one. Element selector. The element selector targets HTML tags directly. For example, P will select all paragraph elements and apply the styles to them. Class selector. Class selectors start with a dot and are reusable. It can be used to apply the same class to multiple elements. It is perfect for styling elements with similar roles. For example, in this example, all HTML elements with the class skill title will have bold font and navy color applied. ID selector. ID selectors start with a hash and are unique. It is used when you want to style a single specific element in a web page. In this example, this CSS rule will be applied to the HTML element with ID, about section. Universal selector. The universal selector, a star or asterisk, targets every element on the page. It is useful for applying base styles like resetting margins or setting a common font. In this example, this CSS rule will affect every HTML element on the page. Grouping selector. By grouping selectors, you can apply the same styles to multiple elements by separating them with commas. It makes the CSS easier to read and modify. For example, if you want to apply same styles to H2 and H3, you can just write it like this. On our last video, we left the website here. Let's remove all CSS we have applied earlier to make it clean. I am removing all my internal and inline CSS and will try to implement all CSS in external style sheet. This will allow us to have all our CSS in one place and easier to read and modify. I have removed all my CSS. Now we need to style our website in a planned way. It is very important to set a theme for your website and use appropriate colors accordingly. I want my navigation bar at the top of the page, so I am placing the heading below navigation bar. Let's start with the universal selector. I am writing a comment here. You can write anything like this in your code files. Comments are used to explain the code, and may help when you edit the source code at a later date. Comments are ignored by browsers. I am changing the font for my entire website using the universal selector. You can see that it changes the font throughout my page using only one selector. Let's style our navigation bar. I am using element selector here to directly apply styles on nav tag. I have given nav a text color of white. Now I am styling my header using the same element selector approach. I am giving my header a background color of black and text color of white. Let's see it in action. I am not liking it much. Let's style this heading with another color to separate it from the navigation bar. On my index.html page, I am giving an ID to this heading. Remember, there can only one ID in a single web page, but you can use same ID for different pages. For styling using ID selector, you have to give a hash before ID name on your CSS file as studied earlier. I am giving it a background color of dark bluish color, and a text color of white. This is a hex value of blue color. I have separated my heading from the navigation bar using the ID selector. I also want to apply the same styles to my footer as I have applied on header. So, instead of writing the same styles again for footer tag, I am going to use grouping selector. For grouping selectors, we just need to write the selectors separated by commas. See, the same styles applied to my footer using the advantage of grouping selectors. Now only implementation of class selectors are left. Let's choose the section tag for implementing class selectors. We can of course apply CSS using element selector as well. But let's create a class here. And since we have two sections in our web page, we will write the class on both section tags. For styling using a class selector, we need to write a dot before class name in our CSS file. So we write a dot and then the class name we have given to the tags in our HTML page. I have given a lightish blue color here. If you don't know about how to get a hex color, let me show it to you quickly. If you are familiar of using default Paint app in Microsoft Windows, when you edit a color, here you can see that its hex value is written. There are also two options, RGB and HSV, for selecting a single color. These values allow us to use lighter and darker shades of different colors. I am attaching a link to a website where you can learn more about these methods of using colors. I am also giving a background color to my aside tag using the element selector. Let's give it the same light blue color. And let's change the section color to light gray. Refresh the page and see it in action. All sections of page have different background colors now. But I need to apply the same style to my other pages as well. All web pages of a website should follow a same design theme for better look and feel. So, I am copy the header from index page and paste it to all my other web pages. Change the headings for the pages. Refresh the page. Oops! Do you know why the styles are not applied? Because we have not linked the style sheet to all other pages. Let's do it quickly and see it in action. Now the styles are looking consistent. But some pages have footer missing. Let's add it to all other pages. Perfect for today, but don't you worry. We will style it more beautifully in our upcoming lessons. Now it's your turn. Choose a color theme for your website from the mentioned link and comment which theme you have selected. Apply the theme colors to your website using universal, element, class, ID and grouping selectors. Share your design screenshot in the email. In this video we have covered what are selectors and properties. What are the simple selectors in CSS? And apply universal, element, class, ID and grouping selectors to our portfolio website. In the next lesson, we will learn about CSS combinators. Stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our exciting lessons.